Hello and welcome to this week's Talking Point video thingy. It's our pre-podcast rambling to warm us up before we actually start talking shite.
Basically a chance for us to drink a little bit more, so we're a little bit more drunk for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we covered last week, which was the is The Last of Us hyped up and overrated?
Yeah, does it live up to the hype?
Oh,
Apparently that was a bit of a contentious topic, Gal.
I thought I might get a few responses from people we know.
Yeah, so we'll start...
people we know, Dan. I knew Dan would jump on this one, you Mike would as well.
Okay, so we'll start with YouTube with Mike the Bassist, or Misfit Fan as he's known there, and he said yes, it lived up to the hype. He really enjoyed it for the characters, the acting, and it's up there with Bioshock Infinite as one of his games of the year.
I'll be honest, I don't know if this is a contentious point as well, but I have it as one of my games of my life. There's not many games that, to me, come close. But again, everyone plays a game for different reasons, don't they?
Yes.
We've been through this. Some people do just like repetitive gameplay. They like the simple games. They like Candy Crush Saga and stuff like that. They don't want to engage with the game. I
left that story out of the main podcast. King are actually suing somebody for having cloned them.
Oh god, it's Singer all over again, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, let's not get too distracted on that.
But I'm with him completely. I mean, it's one of the games that it's a swan song for the PlayStation.
Yeah,
it really is.
And then we go over to Facebook because YouTube. We've moved this show forward a day, so our usual YouTube listeners haven't had time.
Yep, let's use that excuse.
No, Firehawk Shadowchild doesn't usually come until Wednesday.
Smitty said we bore him to sleep.
That was on the main podcast.
I hope he comes back just so we bore him to sleep again.
But we got our Facebook followings, and we'll start with Martin Tattersall.
This is just a wall of text, isn't it? All the way down here.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Martin didn't think it lived up to the hype. He was bored all the way through. The game was okay, but average at best. Find myself doing the same thing in every environment. Got put a lot of detail into the game, and it looked stunning. Even gave a great story, but the hype spoilt it for him. See, there, I don't think it isn't that he was saying it was a bad game. It's just that
the hype was the
hype was so high that by the time he got to it, he was actually expecting something bigger.
I think the problem is as well, like I mentioned, everyone plays a game differently. So, like he's saying, he was doing the same thing in every environment.
And you were. We've acknowledged that you were.
Well, no, we knew every time there's a wet bit, you needed to find, but the wet bits were interspersed throughout the entire story. Yeah,
or that every time you saw another human, you knew you were going to start ducking behind shelves looking for bricks.
I didn't. This is it. This is where I think everyone has that intention that I'm going to be sly and stealthy. But for me, this may reflect on my gaming prowess, but for me, half of the time it went horribly wrong and I was in a gunfight.
Oh yeah.
At which point you're playing a different game.
I didn't like gunfights.
Oh, they weren't. They didn't really help you in any way, did they?
No.
Whenever you got stuck in a gunfight, you pretty much took a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
Survived somehow. And well, I suppose because I don't have normal difficulty rather than hard.
But... No. I didn't even. What I enjoyed, I played it stealthily, and I enjoyed creeping around, stealth kills, all that lot. And then I just played. You know what? I'm gonna play the brute force character, and if I can get there, I am going to charge towards him and beat the crap out of him.
It does work as well, doesn't it? Because, well, I think it says in the demo, in the instruction of it at the beginning, if you charge, though, it's easy for them to hit you. And I thought, if I'm sprinting at them, I thought they'd panic a bit, but no, they do shoot you a lot.
Yeah.
But you just batter them and you're fine.
But anyway, Martin said it didn't live up to the hype. Roy called it an enjoyable game, story nice. Spoilt the ending scene for anybody else who's actually able to read the comments.
I wouldn't say spoil. He's not giving details. He's just a slight kind of...
A slight spoiler.
Yeah. We won't repeat it.
Yeah. Multiplayer enjoyable. He's played the multiplayer, which is something that I don't know if many other people will have.
I don't think many people have even bothered, have they, really?
No.
But never mind. Stuart Renton has the best response ever.
Yeah. Does any game.
No game lives up to the hype. Because your imagination is always better.
Yes.
Oh, well, it's more personal. Let's be honest. Everyone has that bit in them that says,
No.
"You're all right."
We'll go back to the same point that you've been making all along. That everybody plays the game differently, and what you get from hype is the people who play that kind of game.
Yeah.
It's the vocal minority all over again.
Yeah. And let's be honest, we know the vocal minority are usually a bunch of knobs.
Yes, the vocal
and they
minority.
lead you down the wrong route. So.
The vocal minority are wrong. Minorities in general, wrong.
You read way too much of the Daily Mail.
No.
Obviously, you didn't mean it like that.
Yeah. Just bring them all into the mass. Make them all one thing.
Exactly. The hype builders are the extremists of the gaming community.
Yeah.
They bomb our expectations. Right, So Stuart Renson basically just ultimately no gamers up to the hype, which is true because the hype is always...
Yeah, then Martin popped back up because he was trying to explain to somebody who hadn't played it. Tim Hassel said, "Is it as good as the Uncharted series? I haven't played it yet."
Yeah.
And Martin pointed out why Last of Us may not have lived up to it for him, because he looked at it from the Uncharted side of perspective, where Uncharted 1, brilliant for him. I hated it.
Fair enough.
It was good, but just flawed.
Yeah.
2 was flawed and buggy and more Gears of War, and 3 was just... It was better, but it was still by that point. And he's looking at it that is a lot of the hype from Last of Us because it's fresh.
Yeah.
We're in an hour area where everything's...
We've been spoilt in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
Everything's been done.
Yeah.
What made this different as a game? Because the gameplay, pretty much most gameplay has been done now. There's very few games that revolutionise gameplay. This took it down
Papers, please.
What?
Papers, please, where you pay a border officer. It's fucking weird, but yeah.
Okay. Why not? The way this went different to any other game we've had before is the story.
Yep.
The underlying kind of themes and tones throughout the game, which we haven't had in games or even movies.
No.
Which Dan references later, which... I mean, that is a wall of text.
That is a wall and a half.
Nobody in their right mind wants to sit here and listen to me read this. I have a bad reading voice to start with, but basically the fact that women aren't weak in this, they're strong, no. There's no cliches, everything is pretty much...
Women are just as strong a character archetype as men. However, now that I'm thinking about it, how many women did you see running around in the rival gangs, in the bad guys? How many bad guy females did you see? That was a flaw. If you're going to go with that...
I'll be honest, it's not a flaw. In actual life, in the real world, men are aggressive and they are... Women aren't like that. But if you're
going to make that thing that women are shown in this game as just as capable as men...
Capable, but not twisted.
Yeah, but they are...
Men are aggressive. Women aren't necessarily aggressive, but they are strong. They can defend themselves.
No, I'm sorry. There should have been at least some. Because there are some batshit crazy women out there. And you know that.
There are, but they're unlikely to crop up like that. I mean,
I think they would. There are... Because, yes, men as a species are more sadistic.
I don't realize we're a separate species. Agenda.
Yes, fair enough.
We are. This is the unbelievable
I accept
thing.
We're different, but there are women out there that can give men a run for their money on the psychotic side.
On the batshit crazy bit.
Yeah.
They are, but again, they're not. Men don't have to be nuts to be a bit more aggressive and a bit more confrontational. That's the difference.
You know where it would have worked? One bit that it would have worked.
Where?
Without trying to put as many spoilers in.
Yeah, how do we do this? Because clearly we've got people that haven't played this game. Is it possible? Can we do this without spoiling it?
Cannibals. Towards the end.
Yeah. I think.
Leader of that should have been female. That would have been a nice twist twist on it, because that's the level of batshit crazy that women can go to that men normally wouldn't.
I feel like it's like a gender studies argument now, isn't it? But
because when women go crazy, they go crazy.
I'm just going to stick with my men are generally more aggressive argument.
Fair enough.
I don't want to say that women are batshit crazy and eat people. Some of them might. But anyway, Dan covers the fact that movies don't really go into that.
Yeah.
Movies go down the Hollywoodized, save the woman, children are whiny and bitchy, men are the heroes. That is Hollywood.
It is Hollywood, but then Hollywood have a lot narrower window to tell a story. They have a 1 hour, 1.5 hour, 2 hour gap to tell a story. Yep. So you have to rely on certain archetypes at that point.
You could do anything you want. The reason they don't do it is, let's be honest, right?
It wouldn't sell.
Yeah. Let's look at the people that will probably buy. Yeah. Go and see a film. It could be anywhere within the class system.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to bring class into this, but we're British and we love it. When you go through that, you've got, let's say, some of the lower class Americans, not all, some of the lower classes are still in that kind of men are superior, black people are bastards.
Yeah, I suppose.
And they don't treat women well, and they are generally lower in society. If you try and pitch a film at them, it's not going to happen. Whereas games, hell, they live in trailers, they can't afford consoles. Right?
Yeah, but they still have them. They just nick them from the rich guys.
Yeah. I just think, I don't know, I maybe a slight elitism. I just see this kind of game aimed at a different kind of crowd as what movies have to be far-reaching because they spend hundreds of millions on movies. Games are starting to get there, but
they're
not
starting
quite.
to get us budgets, and I think as the budgets grow, we're going to see less and less diversity.
We are.
Yeah.
Anything made by Activision in the last 5 years will prove that.
Shall we get back to the comments then?
Yeah, why
not? Michelle.
with a down-to-earth, not in any way all over the shop response, which I think does deserve a standing ovation, but I go off camera, so I'm not doing it. You 13 lucky people watching us.
Tell them viewing figures.
Maybe 14. But she was impressed with it.
Yeah.
She enjoyed...
She really liked Ellie's story.
Yeah.
And the progression that character made to the point where she was quite badass by the end.
Well, we were discussing it, and we probably should have done this on camera.
Yeah.
But the fact is, we really enjoyed the Ellie bit, didn't we?
Oh.
Because first of all, you get to... that bow and arrow, you realise how useful it is.
Yeah, you actually realise that the bow and arrow slightly useful.
Yeah. Use it on humans, it's awesome. Use it on...
If you can get some headshots in. I got some really good headshots with the bow and arrow.
I'll admit, I had one moment where I had Fee sat next to me watching me play, and it was one of those where I thought, when I fire this with dip and where he's going to be, I'll fire there. And it's one of those shots that you can never pull off again.
Yeah.
Straight through the head. She's like, yes! Looked across, she'd looked down at her phone. I think every guy's had this thing where...
Finally showing off.
Yeah.
Me, mountain.
Look at me hunt as little girl in game. And it just went... She'd looked away. I was almost in tears of happiness. I looked across and she's just not looking at all. And again, this is one of those moments where you want that share button.
Yeah.
So you can say, look how awesome I am.
Look, I fucking did it.
Yeah, and then realise that millions of people have done it because they've just done it over and over until finally they got one right.
Yeah.
But anyway, good game. The Ellie bit is a nice break.
Yeah.
It makes it more fun and gives you a bit more of a background to Ellie. Although, no, I can't. I'll spoil it. Mike Lockwood.
Yes.
Followed up.
He's the one that actually gave us this topic.
He started this.
He started this topic. He asked you the question off camera and off comment. And
well, I knew that he wasn't a big fan. I know he enjoyed it, but he wasn't the biggest. I'll put that down. Wasn't the biggest fan. But I still don't think he's right. Again, it's me being an arrogant twat, but I'm used to it now.
He says that it does live up to its hype.
There's a but in there, isn't there?
But there was nothing new to the game. Nothing innovative. Poor gameplay at times. Unfortunately, very linear. Option would have been nice too.
Honestly, this is where it kind of succeeds and fails at the same time, because like he says, there isn't anything new gameplay-wise.
No.
Everything's the same. We've done this before.
We've done this, or we've been here before.
Yeah. I don't remember getting a pallet and pushing it across a lake, but it's pretty much puzzle solving.
Actually, I'm trying to think of the game, but I can't, so I won't.
That game. But it's puzzle solving. Everyone's kind of done this kind of stuff before.
Jackson Daxter?
Maybe. Either way.
You had to find a boat to get over to the other island, I think. But let's...
Irrelevant. Irrelevant? That's not a word. It's half animal, half something.
An irrelevant elephant.
Yeah, why not? So the gameplay mechanics and the systems aren't exactly new. It's Uncharted. It's previous games have had. What's new about it is that the tones, the story, the fact that you actually do despair at times. You actually get to a point where you think, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Fuck. And then if there's a room full of people, you actually think, should I just sneak by? Should I kill them? And I swear at one point I thought, if I kill them, nobody else can suffer. And then I realised I'm not in this world. Yeah. This isn't real. It's not, fuck it, just sneak around and live. And then I stood on something, they heard me, and you end up in a gunfight every single time. I wasn't good at this game, I'll be honest.
One of the problems I had that got me into more fights than anything else was being able to tell the clickers from the runners.
What's a stalker? Right, I went through my stats and I didn't kill a single stalker. I don't know what one is.
No.
I'm sure there's people probably face palming now. I can't believe you didn't see a stalker. I don't know what a stalker is.
But I had trouble telling a clicker from a runner. Because that's it. You're thinking, okay, it's a clicker. Let's just stay still and the fucker will go past me and then it'll just sprint at you and just all hell breaks
loose. And then the clicker in the corner goes, That was the worst one. Rooms full of clickers and runners. That it just, but either way, he disagrees, doesn't say there's anything new, doesn't even say there's anything new about the story, but that's the only point I think he's wrong. The gameplay it's kind of stuff we've done before.
I think we said that last week. So yeah.
The story is entirely... It's
fresh.
It's a little bit fresher, yeah. It's something new, and like Dan says, it doesn't stick to the cliches we've had before of strong man, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it messes a little bit with the archetypes.
Yeah. If anything, Joel throughout the thing is weak, because he can't deal with feelings at all, bless him. He's just, leave me alone.
He is a bit of
every time.
He is the last remaining archetype. Me man, me not do feeling.
It's pretty much, right in the feels. He literally can't do any kind of emotion, can he? He's just like, shut up. Go in the corner, damn you, don't make me feel. But his opinion is that Red Dead Redemption was better, which, it's a good game, but it's not better than Last of Us. And Last of Us is the swan song for the PlayStation 3. Yeah. And I think Sony, if they're clever, will leave it at that.
Yeah, if they do DLCs, I hope they do it with the...
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I've forgotten the name.
We mentioned this previously.
Enslaved, Journey to the East. Or was it Journey to the West? Anyway, Enslaved, where they had the main story, and it was very linear. You had a beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
And then they did the DLC. Now, the DLC... took the game on another angle. It went to play another character. Pigsy was a character that you bumped into about halfway through the game. You ran along with him for a while, and then you parted ways.
Basically, and the Pigsy, flesh out those stories.
And the Pigsy DLC actually dealt with Pigsy's story.
Yeah.
Separate to the actual main gameplay, which...
I think that could succeed. That would do well. I would happily play another story.
Because I'd like to know what happened to Bill before and after. Because you just left him there.
Yeah. The Fireflies, I want to know what happened to them.
Yeah.
Because I realised they just got killed, but it'd be nice to go through kind of what they went through. Yeah, sat there waiting for this Messiah girl to turn up.
Each group along the line will have their own story as what happened to them. Because you get to each one and...
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it, to go through it all?
Yeah. Anyway, should we get on to the...
We probably should, yeah, because we've rambled again.
we do
what's this question this week?
Which bit of gaming... press hype, or just which term that has been attached to gaming?
Gaming nomenclature. Is that right?
That's the word, but I'm not saying it. Which gaming term needs to fuck off?
We have a few. We have a list. And it starts with Levolution, because Paddy despises that word.
No, I don't mind Levolution.
Really? Because last week you were pretty adamant it needs to die.
It does need to die, but it's not my most hated at the minute. Levolution is just some PR guy trying to make a name for himself.
He's put 2 words together, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Well done, you.
Levolution is blowing shit up.
Yeah. Honestly, if they said Battlefield has blowing shit up,
yeah,
I would be much happier. That would amuse me on every press release.
Literally, Battlefield, you can blow shit up.
I think EA it's always suffered with marketing.
Yeah.
Levolution's probably a perfect example. I think you need to get a job there.
Yeah.
Just blow shit up. Shoot people. America.
Or just Battlefield.
I think it'd work. If you could have, there's hologram type boxes. Yeah. Just as you go by, it explodes. Just every time you walk by. And that would work. Right, what's your other one then? Sorry.
At the minute, the cloud. The miraculous fucking miracle that is the cloud that's going to save gaming.
Yeah, this is an IT thing as well, don't it?
The
cloud is going to save everything.
But this is the thing. What the cloud means in IT terms is, you want this thing to happen, leave it to me. You don't need to fucking know what it's doing.
Yeah. Pretty much all it is it's a server, like we've had many times in the past. Servers have always been there, but instead of us doing processing, we send it to the server, and the server does it. Or sometimes a bank of servers. What tends to be referred to as cloud now is a bank of servers with virtual machines that adjust depending on...
Yeah.
So it's a bit of scalability built in within a virtual system. It's not...
The cloud is just basically means your processing is going to go over here, be worked out for you, and then sent back.
Yeah.
Meaning that we don't have to pay to put a more powerful processing chip in this unit that you've paid 500 quid for.
Or 50 if it's on live or something like that. Here's a box, it doesn't really do anything. In fact, it's empty. We'll do everything over there. Oh, great.
But everybody's selling the cloud as the thing that's going to make their games better. SimCity did it, and look at what that fucking got them.
It's all processed in the cloud. I think that was weakened by the fact that they said, it's all processed in the cloud, and one of the developers went, no, it's not. The worst PR move in the world.
Now, if they can use some cloud service... I'm not against them using cloud services to enhance games. By all means, it could be useful. But... don't sell it as the great thing that's going to change gaming forever. Yeah. It's fucking not.
Yeah. Can I go on to mine now?
Yeah.
Because my rant is... people have probably heard this all before, but MMOs! Yeah. MMOs are the biggest failure in gaming nomenclature at all, because an MMO, first of all, doesn't tell you what genre that is.
Yeah.
That just tells you that there's lots of people playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, that's an arrogant remark.
Yeah.
Because an MMO...
oh, no. It's not just lots of people here. It's lots and lots. It's massively multiplayer.
Yeah, well, that's it. They're saying, loads of people are playing this game. You're missing out. But we're really not. Because what actually happens is you go into an online chat room, or the world, as they call it, and you can see all these people. You can't really do fuck all to them or interact with them in any way.
Unless it's a PvP game.
Yeah, short of typing to them. PvP games are different because... that's an actual MMO. You can just... I assume you can just walk around and twat someone with the axe if you want to.
In the old school ones, that's not really possible as much anymore.
No, well, this is it. They're going the wrong way.
There's some PvP... Ragnarok. I think it was Ragnarok Online. They used to have its own TV channels over in Japan and shit like that. And you could become a player killer. So you'd go in and kill another player. But that tagged you as a player killer, and you were free. You were basically open game to the entire server at that point.
Nice. Well, this is it. That to me is an MMO where you can interact, you can do things. If, for example, you walk in, you chat to people, and say, "Shall we go and do this raid?" and you go on an instance somewhere else. That isn't an MMO. That's a game. I agree. You're in a chat room, and then you're in the game.
We've had this argument many times, but it's...
and then you get games like Eve.
Where it is...
Eve is MMO.
Eve is MMO.
It is the very definition of MMO. In fact, it's so fucking MMO that the servers can't handle it. They have to slow themselves down and use some physics bullshit as an excuse because there's too many people doing too much crap in the same space.
Yeah, no, but
that is an MMO.
But that's it. I still love them for that time distortion thing.
Yeah.
That was fucking genius. Genius move.
But even then, Battlefield can have 60 or 128 people playing together, which is more than quite a few MMOs.
Yeah.
But we don't call that an MMO. And the main argument for this is MMO means massively multiplayer online.
No,
that doesn't define a game at all.
In my opinion, Battlefield classes. The MMO genre, the MMO title, if it needs to remain, needs to be redefined.
It's got to be basically any game where you're playing within and you don't walk 5 minutes without seeing someone.
Yeah.
And you can interact with
everyone. A lot of
everyone.
people are trying to use to have the MMO term. It's got to have a persistent world.
Fuck that. Drop it.
No, because here's how you balance out the persistent world argument. The persistent world argument is very simple. League of Legends then immediately becomes a MMO because it's got the ladders, which are persistent. It's got your summoner character, which is a persistent thing that overrides the champions that you use in Battlefield. You level up in Battlefield. Your character is therefore persistent, so therefore you have entered a persistent world, which makes Battlefield an MMO.
Yeah, but you know what my main thing is? Just add something to the end of it.
Yeah.
If it's an RPG, add MMORPG. Say it properly. MMO means nothing. MMORPG, role-playing game. Right, I know what that is. MMOFPS, first-person shooter. Fine, I know what that is.
Yeah, but at that point, you may as well just sack off the MMO and just admit what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
We are making an RPG. We are making
MMO,
an FPS.
It's a marketing buzzword now. It means nothing.
Sticking with marketing buzzwords, MOBA. Why the fuck is everything a MOBA and not just an arena or a battlefield or a...
well, I'm sorry, RTS.
Deathmatch.
A MOBA's RTS.
Yeah, RTS.
Don't you have other troops and other bits and bobs to be doing?
Well, the troops deal with themselves, and then you've got to level up your character, get the items, and there's shit going on around you.
As far as I'm concerned, it's real-time strategy.
Yeah.
Because you have defences, you weaken them, you might run off to the other end of the map to confuse them.
Yeah. That's RTS.
RTS.
But then we get the new one, which is fucking End of Nations, which looked so promising and has rebranded itself as a MOBA FPS. A MOBA RTS.
Stop calling them stupid names and just say it's a game where you kill shit.
Which two terms are we going to pick as our terms? I'm going with the cloud. The cloud has to die. The cloud is evil.
I think we should call every game a clicky pressy game. I think that would make it simpler.
A fucking game.
Shooty. I think shooty needs to exist. Mythological, which is what I would put any kind of MMORPG, that kind of world into.
Shooty, thinky, clicky.
StarCraft, typey.
No, that's clicky.
No, that's typey. No, if you've watched a professional StarCraft player, that's definitely typey.
Yeah, but they're clicky. They're typing that fast, it's clicky again. Shooty, fighty, clicky. Speedy.
Racing?
Yeah.
Alright.
And...
Jumpy. Platformer.
And jumpy.
Yeah.
So that's it. We've reclassified games. There are 5 classifications.
We'll contact the press in the morning, and this will be legislation tomorrow.
Yeah, this is definitive.
What bullshit term do you want to get rid of?
What term in gaming do you think is bullshit and want to get rid of?
I think that's enough.
That's it. That's a decent topic. Because we only got 15 people to watch this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, all the things that YouTube people tell you to do all the time. We don't
bother because nobody listens.
That's why nobody listens.
Apparently,
we don't
put
tell
Smitty to sleep. That's the important thing. He gets a good night's rest because of us.
Yeah.
And we get drunk, so it's all good. Yeah. See ya.